Today on the Open Current, it is our pleasure to welcome Dr. Ravishankar, a consultant and seasoned regulatory expert with over 15 years of experience in Ayurveda, nutraceuticals, and food safety regulations. With his deep understanding of both traditional systems and modern regulatory frameworks, he offers valuable perspectives on India's evolving compliance landscape. We are honored to have him with us today.
FSSI will not promote any products or will not give the approval for any products which will cure the disease.
Ayurvedic medicines are being prescribed and sold over the counter, whereas food nutraceutical preparations mostly sold over the counter.
So if I want to purchase a product, what are the key things, key points which I have to look into the labels?
Label should be in compliance with the regulatory body approval. If it is a food, it should follow food label display regulations. If it is an Ayurvedic product, follow the Rule 161 of D&C Act guidelines compulsorily.
Welcome to the Open Current, where stories heal, wisdom transforms, and your new chapter begins. The Open Current.
Yes. Hi sir, very good afternoon. Thank you so much for coming to my podcast. How are you sir? How is things going on?
Thank you, Shivatsa. I am good. Thanks for inviting me, and all things are going fine and smooth as of now.
Great sir. Sir, for all our viewers, so today we will going to discuss about the regulatory hurdles and cracking the regulatory code with respect to the nutraceuticals and Ayurveda industry. So, being a subject matter expert, I want your suggestions, valuable feedbacks, so that people who will start if they're thinking about to start the new company or register a new company with respect to Ayurveda or the nutraceuticals, so that they will take your guidance as a step of the success and they can start with this.
Okay, it's a good insight. I mean,
Yes, sir.
a good question. A lot of people are nowadays entering into this industry, and they have certain confusions related to the product different categorization.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So basically, when it is two basic categories you mentioned, one is Ayush and the second one is nutraceutical.
Nutraceuticals.
So basically, a product, if it is supposed to be categorized under Ayurveda or nutraceutical or another category called phytopharmaceuticals, which is accepted by CDSCO. So all these things will come with have different laws, different pathways, and different classification.
Yes, sir. So, yes, sir. You told me about all these things. Three things has the different pathways and classification. So, let's talk about the basics, sir. So, how do we differentiate between Ayurvedic regulations and nutraceutical regulations? Ayurveda say Ayush regulations, nutraceutical regulations say FSS regulations, or phytopharmaceuticals. Come to CTSO or DCG regulations. So, what is the impact happen to the products? And see, general people like me, I don't know if a ginger, as you were having a discussion, I want to come into a ginger product, so I don't know whether the ginger will come into both Ayurveda, nutraceuticals, and phyto, but I don't know what pathway I have to take and what is the regulatory pathway which, if I choose, that will make me go with the good flow. So can you please help me on this?
Yeah, definitely. Because this is the interesting entry question.
Yes,
so, like, I have developed one product. I would like to market this for the customers or the patients. So, there the difference basically is the regulatory bodies in India are like FSSAI, that is Food Safety Standards Authority of India, the primary Ayush, which includes Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani preparations, which are earlier called as Indian System of Medicine, and the other regulatory body is the CDSCO. So, any product which is developed scientifically should definitely categorize under any of these three above categories. The basic definition of Ayurvedic product, Ayush, Ayurveda, Unani, Siddha product is, it's a medicament which should definitely followed certain regulations which are laid down by Ministry of Ayush, government of concerned stakeholder, controlled by D&C Act, that is Drugs and Cosmetic Act, which is the central body.
Okay.
So under their guidelines, every state will have a Ayush regulatory body which receives the application, approves the product. So there are two type of products available under Ayush, as you may be aware. The most popular product, which is called Chavanprash.
Yes, sir.
So Chavanprash is an Ayurvedic medicine. So which has to be prepared according to the Ayurvedic pharmacopoeial textbooks
Okay.
as per the law. And there is another category of the product called proprietary Ayurvedic medicines, which can be prepared by the ingredients mentioned in the textbook, which can have a branded name, like any branded products.
Okay. Any X brand which is available in the market.
Yes.
Yes.
So these are the two categories which are being approved by the Ministry of Ayush, Department of Ayush of that particular state, and will give to the manufacturer's approval. The next is the second category. What we are going to discuss is Food Safety Standards Authority of India.
Yes, sir.
By the definition itself, it is not a medicine, it is a food.
Okay.
So the food may be functional food, food for special dietary use, food for special medicinal purposes, health supplements, nutraceuticals. Those are the kind of food substances or supplements which are being regulated by Central FSSAI authority. Basically, the difference between the Ayush and FSSAI is the claim,
Okay.
because functional food is a food, it's not a medicine.
Okay. It's not a medicine.
It's not a medicine. It can support the disease condition. It cannot cure any disease.
Okay. So basically, the nutraceuticals cannot cure anything.
Cannot cure.
It's a food.
It should not be. It should not have any claims for a
Okay.
cure of
Should
this.
not having any claim for cure.
Yes, it is just
Okay.
limited only the label regulations. They cannot write any cure.
And Ayurveda, I'm sorry to cut you for sir. And Ayurveda has a curable medicine. It can claim as it can cure so and so diseases.
Of course, there the claim perspective. If you are looking into on label per se, if you want to write something, again there is another regulation which is coming under the D&C Act called Drugs and Magic Remedies Objectionable Advertisement Act.
Okay.
As per that act, there are certain list of diseases which cannot be cured, managed, helped, support. So those diseases should not be mentioned on the label.
Okay. There is one more guidelines called Drugs and Magic Remedy Act.
Correct. So
Okay.
for the understanding of the common man or a manufacturer, having any disease on the label is definitely a objectionable content unless it is reviewed by a regulatory expert, unless it is being accepted by the regulatory body. But whereas in food as
Yes,
such,
sir.
we need to give a standard disclaimer stating that this is not intended to cure, diagnose, treat any disease conditions.
Oh, okay. So just for a deep understanding about this, so food FSSI will not promote any products or will not give the approval for any products which will cure the disease.
Yes.
No.
At the-
Ayush, yes,
Of course, Ayush
can do it.
can do. The thing is, Ayurvedic medicines are being prescribed and sold over the counter,
Okay, over the counter.
whereas food nutraceutical preparations mostly sold over the counter.
Okay.
Very few are
Prescribed.
being prescribed by the doctors.
Okay.
So the prescription drug, prescription supplement, we need to be very careful, and what is being captured on the label should be accepted by the regulatory bodies.
Okay, sir, and so when I want to launch a brand, for example, if some person want to launch a brand, so what are the major condition has to look into? Basically, what I understand from your perspective is, so I have to differentiate whether my product is food or a drug, right, sir? If a food, we have to go to FSSI. If it's a drug, when we are going as a Ayurveda, we have to go to Ministry of Ayush. So how do we approach, sir? What is the approachable as perspective?
In fact, it's a very tricky question. See, as I have three regulatory bodies.
Okay.
Probably in my previous thing, I haven't mentioned about the another body which approves the herbal botanical drug approval,
Okay.
which is controlled by directly CDSCO,
Okay.
not from Ayush, not from FSSAI,
Mhm.
which is called Drugs and Cosmetics Amendment 2015. They brought a new category called phytopharmaceuticals.
Yes, sir. You mentioned about phytopharmaceuticals.
So,
Yes.
phytopharmaceuticals is a new regulation which is controlled by the CDSCO, which gives approval to standardized botanical extracts. At least four active components, chemical constituents need to be measured, assayed in that. So that is having a different, the prerequisite eligibility criteria to get an approval. After that, it is having a different scope for the marketing.
Okay.
So if I look into the scope of my product, so if I prepare, simple example, as I already told to you, like a ginger.
Yes, sir.
If I consider ginger, which is a food in
Yes,
India,
sir.
so the ginger is also a medicine in Ayurveda.
True, sir.
Ginger is food under food and nutraceuticals.
Okay.
Gingerols or other things which I standardize, it can be a medicine under CDSCO.
Oh, it's a very tricky thing. Then, being I sorry to cut you, sir. Being a entrepreneur, being I want to start a company with a ginger. So, what do I look into it first to launch a product?
Okay, so that is what we need to understand, the manufacturer's strength. What is their innovation? What is their product as such? What exactly ginger they are doing? Whether they are selling a fresh ginger or a dry ginger powder or a ginger powder mixed with some other botanical powders, or they are dealing with extracts, or they are dealing with isolates. So, what is the innovation? What is the invention? That is going to decide to which regulatory path I need to choose.
Okay.
A simple ginger chart can be taken a license under FSSAI, which can be an appetizer
Okay.
or a digestant
Yes,
or
sir.
an antiemetic. Should not have any label claims. If I want to sell ginger chart under nutraceutical regulations, there are limitations. I should keep in mind as a manufacturer till what I should sell this product.
Got it, sir.
So, as a ginger, as a taste enhancer, I should promote. Beyond that, I cannot tell if I got approval under FSSA.
Okay.
The same thing if it comes to an Ayush, the regulatory pathway is different. The
Yes.
requirement documents are different. The regulatory approval body is different. The advantage is that it can be treated for loss of appetite. It can be treated for lack of taste in the mouth. It can be prescribed for arthritis conditions.
Oh.
So, like multiple migraine, headache, many benefits are there of ginger, which can be prescribed by an Ayurvedic doctor and also can be taken by over-the-counter medicine.
Okay.
If I come to the CDSCO, I need to give lot more research, analytical, safety, efficacy, standardized data to substantiate ginger is an anti-emetic under CDSCO phytopharmaceutical route.
Okay. So every regulations has a different perspective and with the different guidelines.
Of course.
So when we are going to launch, then we have to follow the certain guidelines and regulations.
Of course.
Yes.
And basically, what exactly is the manufacturer's invention? What he want to sell? So that is the most important thing which guides the manufacturer to choose the regulator, to follow the label guidelines, to have the scope where he can sell the product.
Okay.
That's about
That's about the main thing.
yes.
Yes, sir. Sir, when we discuss about the selling of the product, so by the time we start selling, we need to do the packaging and we need to do the marketing. While marketing, we have to do the run ads. So, what kind of health claims? Because when we are talking about the products which is benefit for the health, either it's a food supplement or Ayurveda products. So, what kind of ads we have to take? We have to put, and what are the precautions we have to take, and what do we have any regulations for the ad also, sir? So or else we can do any kind of ad with respect to products.
No. Definitely, there is a very clear cut the regulatory standards for advertisement of a product. As I answered your question partially in the previous question, the drugs and magic remedies objectionable advertisement Act.
Okay.
So there is a special act under DNC Act which says about what not to be advertised.
Okay.
That is one thing. And the second thing, all these three, the regulatory bodies have very specified label claims. The
Noted.
specified label claims, label regulations.
Label regulations.
So, as per the Act, what need to be captured on the label? It should follow the guidelines of labeling regulations.
Labeling regulation.
Yes, if anybody is violating a label regulation, it is going to attract the penalty as well as the punishable offense under that particular section of the Act.
Okay. So we have to go with the regulatory perspective with the claims.
Okay. This is about the three laws which is controlling the product approval authorities.
Okay.
Apart from that, there is another thing called Advertising Standard Council of India, ASCI, ASCI. That is also an independent body which observes what sort of consumer product advertisements are being promoted in the industry and ensure those ads are substantiable, not misleading with any customers.
Oh.
So that also a manufacturer should be aware of the self-committed standards. It is not a body which gives approves ad, but whereas it monitors and questions the manufacturer, whatever the kind of advertisement which is being done for a product, that can be substantiated. Do you have any clinical validation? Do you have any clinical evidences? Because there are certain things in nutraceuticals is called a structure benefit claim.
Okay.
So,
Structure benefit claim.
for example, by taking vitamin D supplements, it is going to help the bone health. That is the structure benefit. It is not your product.
Got it.
I'm using vitamin D, hence it helps in bone metabolism, bone strength, or bone density kind of thing. So such things can be easily substantiable. But certain tricky advertisements need to be reviewed by a subject matter expert through a proper, the label claim grid. It is going to be approved. Then only we are supposed to advertise.
Okay.
Or have a claim.
Oh, okay, sir. So, sir, you have mentioned about clinical validation. So, how important is clinical validation or scientific approach towards a product, whether if it's Ayurveda or a nutraceuticals or a phytopharmaceuticals you mentioned. So, how important is to approach a scientific validation or clinical validation, or else is this sufficient to have a ancient knowledge to launch the product or to market it, or else right now there is a need of going with the clinical validation or scientific evaluation?
See, clinical validation is a broader subject. So clinical validation, when with respect to the different regulatory bodies what we have listed, Ayush, nutraceutical, and CDSCO. So if you sort out based on the regulatory body, in Ayush, if you consider the clinical trial or the clinical validation is required for patent and proprietary medicines, but not for the classical medicines like Chavanprasha, Trifala Churna, Shadbindu Tela, whatsoever the Ayurveda, the classical medicines which are prepared in accordance with the pharmacopoeial books doesn't require any further validation of clinical. But whereas a patent proprietary medicine need to be evaluated clinically for the safety and also the efficacy of the product. Whereas certain nutraceutical, if their product is completely innovative, if their product is having ingredients mentioned other than scheduled ingredients like a novel food, those things need to be validated clinically for their benefit.
Okay.
And CDSCO by default, it should have the validation of the clinical efficacy, a product which is being applied for getting an approval.
Okay. So what is clinical efficacy, sir? How do we correlate that?
See, clinical efficacy is what exactly the therapeutic benefit which the inventor or the manufacturer is intended, that need to be evaluated. For example, if I have prepared a powder or a capsule for the purpose of laxation, to relieve the constipation.
Okay.
So that powder or the laxative capsule need to be evaluated in a clinical setup
Okay.
to find the efficacy. These being natural products will have differently in different bodies. So to observe uniformly whether my medicine, my powder is acting uh, in all the cases in a stipulated manner, that is going to be observed in roughly as a clinical trial.
No.
So any trial, what I do, I want to hypothesis or the expected therapeutic benefits should be evaluated under a clinical setup with certain set of rules, regulations, inclusion criteria, exclusion criteria, materials, methods. That is the structured format of observing a product, whether it is working or not.
So yes, sir. So when we are talking about the products, let's say so most of the products has the labels, either in the box or in the cartons or in the brand names. So to start a company or for entrepreneurs, so what are the common practices we have to look into the labels?
Hmm.
And then as a layman, so if I want to purchase a product, what are the key things or key points which I have to look into the labels? Can you please let me know about, sir? So today we at this point of time, can you please help me to get the idea about the labels?
Label. See, labels are the most important aspect of a product. Label, license, landmine. Basically, what exactly is the product that should be displayed on the label? And label should be in compliance with the regulatory body approval.
Okay.
If it is a food, it should follow food label display regulations. If it is an Ayurvedic product, the label should follow the Rule 161 of DNC Act guidelines
Okay.
compulsorily. So generally on a label, there are certain statutory mandatory things that everyone should follow. So that like the name of the product, the exact name given as per the license,
Okay.
and the category of the product, either it may be food or it may be nutraceutical or food for special medicinal purposes like pregnant women, lactation women, food for special dietary use,
Okay.
weight management, obesity kind of thing. Everything should be displayed clearly as per the license which has been taken. And the clean label strategy, whatever the ingredients which are present in the product should be displayed in accordance with the regulation, including active ingredients and also the additives and also the allergens compulsorily as per the mandate regulations. So the minute details of labeling guidelines need to be specifically uh, followed based on the product category. In generally, what I am telling you, the statutory
Yes, sir.
things, the must to have on the label, license number, manufacturer address, customer care number, etc. are mandatory for nutraceutical as well as Ayurvedic. If it is an Ayurvedic, as per Rule 161, we need to give the complete list of active ingredients, the botanical names, the plant part used, and the Sanskrit name. All these things are mandated. The preservatives, the coloring agents, all these things are compulsory for. The next activity on the label is should have, not must. So then there people tend to write about its benefits,
Okay.
story about the product, content, how to attract, what it contains, like special attention, like organic certified,
Okay.
or it is going to help the disease condition. As I mentioned in my earlier point, the regulatory body regulations of labeling display should be attributed to the label while writing any therapeutic benefits about the product, like
Okay.
turmeric. If it is considered in food and nutraceuticals, they write turmeric helps in immunity,
Okay.
or it contains 95% curcuminoids, or it may say turmeric helps in diabetes. So while writing whatever the benefit of the product, that should be substantiable and accepted as per the regulatory compliance.
Oh, okay.
Example. So similarly in Ayush, whatever the regulation, magic remedies objectionable act,
Okay.
that need to be captured on the label. Label, for your understanding, label is not only the sticker which is bare on the primary packing.
Okay.
The primary packing
sir.
is, if you consider tablet is my dosage form, the primary packaging is the jar or a container.
Container.
The label which I put is not only the label. The monocarton which I am putting is also a label,
Okay.
and the product information which I am going to display on the website is also attributed as a label
Oh,
by the regulator.
okay. The display in the website also attributed as a label.
Label in the sense, whatever you are going to communicate about the product.
And about the leaflets, sir?
Leaflet, pack insert, marketing brochure, all these things are communications.
Communications.
It may not be on the product, but it is linked with the product.
And those are considered as labels, no?
Those are not labels, but any objectionable content is attracting the penalty.
Okay.
For example, we are talking only on the label regulations with respect to the regulatory body.
Oh, yes, sir.
Either it may be Ayush or food or nutraceutical. There is another body which is called consumer affairs.
Okay.
As our products are FMCG, consumer products, there is another regulation called legal metrology.
Legal metrology.
Legal metrology Packaging Commodities Act is also one of the important regulatory body which keep on observing on the labels.
Oh, okay.
For example, if the recent regulation of unit selling price,
Okay. USP.
Yes.
USP we call generally.
generally the legal metrology regulations are most of the times for consumer products,
Okay.
like the soap, tea powder, or any detergent, such a kind of consumer good. But in India, Ayush as well as FSSAI is also coming under consumer goods.
Okay.
Hence, the regulation is applicable for these products also. So, the legal metrology has also laid down certain mandatory points to be captured on the label, like 30 tablets costing around 180 rupees. Immediately below that MRP, I need to mention unit selling price per capsule.
Oh, that is
6
mandatory.
rupees. That is mandatory.
Okay.
So Ayurvedic industry also will be attracted to that regulation, and the consumer affairs
Okay.
or the consumer number, customer care service,
Services.
mandatory email address, postal box, whatsoever. So the label should be in compliance with, apart from the regulatory product approval body, but also legal metrology.
Okay.
And especially the legal metrology, the tricky thing is, whatever you are selling for 100 rupees, under that you need to mention for 100 rupees what you are getting.
Okay.
MRP 100, net content 30 ml.
Okay. So whatever the price we are giving, you have to mention on this price
What
are
you
you
are
getting?
going to get.
What are
How
you
much you
getting?
are getting.
How much you are getting?
Yeah.
In the quantity also.
Yeah, because it should be visible to the consumers.
Okay.
They should not be cheated with your false advertisement.
Got it.
20 rupees only. Of course, 20 rupees, how much I am getting? 5 ml, 10 ml.
Okay. Got it.
And it applicable to the e-commerce also.
In e-commerce also, sir, there are some e-commerce platforms. In the e-commerce platform, there are some products where we apply 50% off, 30% off. So how does that come, sir?
No. See, offer is an extended price apart from MRP what they are giving.
Okay.
Offer price most of the times will not be printed on the label.
Okay.
So the Legal Metrology Commodities Act packaging label regulations are different. So in an assorted pack, in a combined pack,
Okay.
and different regulated approval bodies can be put in one carton box and can be sold. That is a different perspective.
Okay. Got it, sir. So when we are talking about the labels, what are the common, being a regulator, what are the common mistakes you see in several brands, so that we need to avoid on this?
Okay, common mistakes with respect to Ayurveda, and also common mistakes with respect to FSSAI labels are being observed is like missing nutritional information on certain food products, and third party manufacturing manufactured by concept mislabels will be there.
Okay.
The vegetarian logo, the size, the color, and the FSSA license number.
Okay.
These are the common things generally tend to happen. This is one part of that. The next mistakes are claims.
Claims.
Lot of huge claims are being captured on the labels of food products in most of the small players. That is a very big mistake the manufacturer is doing.
Okay. And in Ayurveda, if I say so and so disease cured in, so it will be cured in so and so days. These are the mispractice in the
Of course.
label claims.
Yes. Anything which you measure with the days and the time and the duration, that need to be really taken very much care whether what I am capturing on the label is correct or not.
Okay.
Disease claims, basically.
Okay. Sir, when we are talking about the approvals, so for a D2C brand or a startup company to get the product launched into their market, what are the approvals or the licenses we need with respect to the Ayurveda or FSSAI?
So there are certain compulsory regulations for a manufacturer, starting from the Factories Act regulation or the GMP certification or the product approval certificate. And if they are doing e-commerce in FSSA, they need to have a different kind of business amendment to their existing center license.
Okay.
These are the regulatory bodies, and pollution control board clearance. It's not an approval, but it is an NOC kind of thing.
Okay.
So like that, different the regulatory bodies approval need to be taken while running a unit and for the product.
Got it, sir.
Because to have a factory, different licenses, to have a product, different licenses. After that, to have additional non-mandatory certificate like organic, kosher, halal, that's a different certification bodies which
Yes,
are
sir.
prevailing.
Sir, you're talking about the certificates like vegan, cruelty free, SLS free, halal, kosher. So, what are those certificates? Is that certificates are regulated, or any particular agency will give us, or it is like general practice? We will go with that.
This is also funny and interesting questions.
Yes, sir.
In this, there are certain certifications which are given by a certified bodies. There are certain things which manufacturer himself will write. The sugar free,
Yes, sir.
it is a self-voluntary certificate. Whereas gluten free or non-GMO, this has to be approved by a certified agency. By examining the ingredients what you are adding into the product will not contain any non-gluten components.
Oh, okay.
Vegan, they also need to be certified what and all being the components of the product.
Okay.
And these are given by the certifying bodies, can't be written on their own.
Just not to write. It
No,
should
no.
be given by certificate body, and
Yes,
those certificate body has been monitored by the regulatory departments like FSSAI, Ayush, and
of course they have a quality council of India, many other bodies will monitor those things, and every certification body will do a audit of a product certification by visiting the factory, by looking into the ingredients, then only they are going to give the validity of the certificate.
Oh, okay. Sir, when we are discussing about the certifications and all, so you told me about third-party manufacturing. So when we are talking about the label claims, so what is third-party manufacturing, sir? Just in a few words, if you can explain.
So third party manufacturing, the term as per, there are two type of the scenarios over here. So which is called loan license in Ayush,
Okay.
where I have some product, but I don't have a facility where it has to be manufactured. Then I seek a manufacturer who is having the capability to do my dosage form.
Okay.
Then I take a loan license. That time I consider him as a third party manufacturer.
Okay.
And another scenario is I don't have any license, I don't have any product, but I have interest in marketing.
Okay.
So one of your product you take and I market it. That is one scenario. So where product belongs to you, I am just only a marketer of that.
So for the marketing, I can put my own brand name.
Yes, you can put, but the manufacturer should have approval of that particular brand.
Okay, that brand has to be get approved by the by the regulatory body from the manufacturer.
Of course, this is scenario with the Ayurvedic,
Ayurveda.
Ayush products. Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani.
Okay.
But when the situation comes to the food and food safety standards, like nutraceutical products, there is no question of loan license.
Okay.
There is a concept of relabel, repacker.
Relabel and repack.
Repacker. For example, you have a big unit. You have capsules, dosage, all dosage forms as an approval. If I want to relabel your product or my product, then I should apply as a relabel repacking category.
Okay.
Then that product will be approved by the FSSAI authority. Then I need to market that product.
Okay.
So that time manufactured by you, marketed by me.
Okay.
Both should have the manufacturing or trading license.
License. And both information has to present in the label.
Of course,
Okay.
both has to capture on the label, and for the government perspective, both are answerable if product compliance.
Or both are answerable,
Of
not
course.
even the marketer and the
Both are equally responsible for non-compliance of the product, whether it may be a quality or a claim or whatsoever. But whereas in case of clear marketed in Ayurvedic product, as which is not regulated, so most of the times marketer may away from the situation.
Oh, okay.
Whatsoever happens, the manufacturer is the prime or questionable customer for the government.
Okay, got it, sir. Sir, let's say we have a product and we are doing a good in India. So I want to export the product in US or UK or some overseas. So what are the steps I have to take, and whether the regulations are same with respect to India and other overseas, or we have a slightly different rules and regulations which we need to follow?
So this is something like taking our product into a global scenario.
Yes, sir.
So the global scenario is definitely different from Indian perspective. So when it comes to US, the regulatory body is the FDA or DSHA, where the dietary health supplements are being considered. That basically in their scenario, the product which is being categorized as food or a supplement, that
Got it.
need to be very clearly demarcated.
Okay.
If it's a food, it is a food. If it is a supplement,
It
it
is
is
supplement.
dietary supplement. Dietary supplement is the tag which majority of the herbal botanical extract based combinations are being sold in US market.
Got it, sir.
So in US, basically there is no pre-approval for my product, unlike India.
Okay.
In India, if I want to launch a product, I need to get approval first. There it is not so. You can directly launch, provided the label should be matched with the regulations as per FDA CFR.
Okay. So the label claim should be matched.
Of course.
Label claims or labels, sir?
Label claims.
Label and label claims.
Entire label. Whatever you write on the label,
Okay. It should be matched.
it should be matched. But whereas in case of European market, the regulatory body is called EFSA, that is European Food Safety Standard Authority. So according to EFSA, you need to categorize your product under three. Either it may be food or dietary supplement. There is another category called herbal medicine,
Herbal medicine.
which is recognized in European.
Okay.
So I need to decide in these three what would be the status of my product,
Got
where I can position it.
it.
According to that, I need to follow the guidelines of the European regulations and have a clean label
Okay.
and promote the product, register the product and promote.
Okay. Sir, thank you so much for the fruitful information. So, at last, sir, our last question from my end. So, finally, what's your advice to the founders or the startup companies? So, in terms of regulatory perspective of Ayurveda or nutraceuticals, so what to do, what not to do, what to follow and what not to follow, and what is the best pathway to go into it or get into it?
Thank you, Shivatsa, for the important question at the end, because the final advice to the founders and marketers to build a very clean, compliant, and a credible brand, wellness brand, irrespective of the regulatory body, either it may be food or Ayush or a drug. So to have a very clean strategy, a very solid foundation, I have sorted out certain points so that any startup or any interested person, if they follow these mandate points that is going to give a huge credibility to their wellness brand. I'm going to list out those foundation points which are considered as must. These are all compulsory points.
Yes, sir.
So first, every manufacturer should classify their product on the first priority. So as we have a very thin line of difference between these three categories, so one should clearly decide what the product which they are going to sell as a food or a medicine or as a Ayurvedic supplement. And the second most important point for the manufacturer is invest in the specifications and safety of that. That means to say, whatsoever the product you are going to bring into the market, so you invest money in creating a dossier, creating a specification of the product, creating safety profile of the product, because these things will last long and will give a solid the foundation. And the most important point in the under the foundation points is use conservative claims so that it will not attract any legal complaints, controversies, or non-compliances. And fourth point is label and legal review about the product category whatsoever you develop. Better take an opinion from the regulatory expert and then vet that particular label or the product. So these are all compulsory for all the manufacturers. And the next action item is like a credibility bringing points, which is going to win the trust and avoid scrutiny as per the government bodies. So where two activities are important to create the curiosity or to give the credibility of the product. See, one is publications and publishing the data about the product, the ingredient, their monograph, their specifications, etc., and transparent quality story, that whatsoever the ingredients you are using, their concentrations, bring the transparency on the label as a part of story. That is also going to increase the credibility of the your brand.
Okay.
So the next strategic action point for the upcoming manufacturer is marketing and operational perspective. So here, for the sake of marketing, very important, avoid hyperbolic language. So there should be no claims like 30 days 60 kg reduction, 12 days this much number reduction, so that hyperbolic claims should be avoided. Even if you are making, you should have a very solid evidence across different age group studies. And important thing is, like, you set up a PV cell, that is called pharmacovigilance cell, so that whatsoever you are marketing, you have a proper mechanism of getting the feedback in the form of pharmacovigilance and compliance processes. That is also an important aspect with respect to marketing and operations. And the last, if you want to scale your business internationally and design your product strictest markets according to the regulations, like enter first into the European market or the US market, so that your product credibility is definitely increased by entering into such international markets first, then you can do the local business. So these are the nine important suggestions what I would like to give through the young upcoming manufacturers or entrepreneurs into this wellness and Ayush or food nutraceutical industry.
Thank you so much for coming to the Open Current, sir, and spending a time with us and giving a thoughtful and fruitful information for all the people who are really want to start their own company, own brand in with respect to the Ayush or the food industry. So it's my pleasure to have you. Thank you so much, sir. Have a good day, and hope your time is not prioritized with this.
Never, Sriharsha, because it is a part of my service or contribution to the upcoming industrialist to enter into the large scape of wellness industry. People should be very cautious when playing while playing with the products to the society. So
Yes.
once again, a great initiative taken by you. I congratulate.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Pleasure
Yeah.
is mine. Thank you.